Hello, everyone. Good morning there. Actually, here is evening. I'm calling, transmitting from Barcelona. So it's 8 p.m. and I'm Valeria Pagano, as Lisa told you, and I am Italian living in Barcelona. Thank you for joining this topic, this amazing conference. Thank you for joining me because this you can see me. I'm already extremely emotional. This topic for me is really important. I've been trying to make a conference about the power of failure forever. You can just imagine. I just applied 234 times to TEDx to do this kind of speech, and they never called me back. So I guess that was a failure for sure. And just some words about me. I'm just a team leader for sales, and I am managing an amazing team of women. I am a consultant, the Amazingal for women-based small shops and small businesses. And even if I'm a serial learner, which means like not I love serious, which I do, but I have several degrees, I can see with absolutely no doubt that my best lessons I've learned that from failure. So what we are talking about today, I will just share with you a little bit of my story, a little bit of experience, and then how I cope with that. And I will just talk to you directly a lot. So I know that the topic can be really heavy for you all. Try not to be depressed, but trust me on that. You will just go out with some teaching I would like to share with you. So this topic about the failure has been, let's see, like cool for the last 5 years. When I started talking about that, nobody talked about that because we are used with the social media to have this sparkling life. Everybody has a sparkling life with a lot of success, a lot of like flawless lives. And we really don't necessarily love to speak about failures. The first time I had my first podcast about failure, there were people like writing me on LinkedIn directly, telling me that they had panic attacks, listening to me, like sharing the deepest and the darkest side of my life in form of failures. So I just understood that even for me, it was easy in that time that people really don't want to uncover that part. They feel like weak. You feel uncovered. You can't repair to anything. But the moment you start to share your experience, you share your failure, that's the moment you really get powerful. Let me just share a part of me, the best side. So I live in amazing Barcelona. I speak 4 languages. I have 5 degrees. I have an amazing job. That's the social media part. Let me just give you my dark side of the story. I failed at school basically when I was like, since I was a little child. I get my first BA when I was 31. I got fired from my first job when I was, after 4 months from the beginning. And I started to clean kitchens to, pay my rent. I was alone in Germany. I didn't speak the language. And I completely felt that my life was over. I was only 31. Then I started to learn how I can just cope with that. That moment I got depressed. I was like, felt like without no energy. Then I started like vivisecting all the experience I was having and trying to understand what was happening. And what the best thing I learned, there is no way you can avoid the failure. Just to let me tell you, like, something that maybe you're not aware of that, but we fail every day. I fail every day at work. I fail every day when I just decided to go to the gym and I can't do it because I'm too lazy. I fail every day with my family. I fail when I communicated with people. And fun enough, I think I had one of my biggest failure at work. So I failed on one of my team members because I was trying to approach her in a different way, in a very human way, and instead like to approach her in a positive way, she basically lashed everything out of me. So I felt like a complete failure. And trust me, like it took me like 1 or 2 hours before I was able to cope with that. So you can trust me, this is a phase a person that today failed. But what I was learning that you can't avoid that. You can't avoid anything, but the only thing you can do is to be aware of that. So, in my opinion, maybe you have learned or heard in the last years, last months maybe, all these fuck up nights, which are amazing things because he brought up this topic more and more. But the way they just share the information, just share the stories, it's like it's extremely superficial because it's mostly like I feel once, yeah, like I'm just making like 700 figures on my bank. Failure is much more than that. Failure is a deep, slow, and extremely painful transformation. So if you learn how to cope with that, how can you just get along with that, you learn a lot about you. First of all, what you learn, and you can see I'm super emotional because it's like you learn how human you are. We as women, when we fail, we feel that there's something broken inside of us. There's something wrong. And actually, the failure makes us human. We learn how to be more condescending. We learn how we can just survive, because honestly we always survive from all the mistakes we make. Think about it. Every time a guy, a man make a mistake, it's like, okay, I did it, and move on. And then we just like hit them on over and over again until like we just work on it. But sometimes we really don't learn. We just want to punish ourselves. And this is the first thing I want to share with you. Stop punish yourself. Stop punish yourself because you made a mistake, because you fail. Failure comes from the Latin fallere, means like, falling down. And what I always say, unless you're a corpse, the human body, the human nature is made to stand up again. The only thing you can just learn and you can just take out of that is that you will get always out of that. It's like a breakup, guys. It's like when you break up, you think like it's the end of the world and you will never love again. And then you just, guess what? One day you start loving again. It's the same of failure. It's the same exact process. There's another social problem. When you are old, well, like, you're vintage. I prefer the word vintage, like me. You're over 40. It doesn't look like, but I am. And you think that the society just told us that you're not enough, and you feel that life is over, and you will never, like, you have to find something else, or like just you will just buy 20 cats and you will never work again if you fail working. No. The difference between us and a 20 years old is that when you're 20, you're able to do more mistakes. I mean, you have all the life before you, right? But you don't necessarily have the tools to connect the dots, to elaborate what is happening. When you have my age, I keep on saying that, you have enough tools, you have enough experience to learn quicker, faster, and smarter about each of the mistakes you do. every day. The micro failure, the failure we do every day, and the micro failure and the micro failure, which is like, bigger failures. So we should really work on this concept, which is extremely old, that when you're 40, you're not allowed to fail. No, we are allowed to fail. We are allowed to fail like more than at 20 years old because we are smart enough and we have the tools to move on. The question you might ask is like, okay, how do you cope with that? I created like, some structure to learn how to cope with that. And I would like to share with you. The first thing, and you will just see that it's exactly like a breakup. The first thing you do is like sorrow. So you fail, you're human, I told it before, extremely human. So it's okay to feel sorry, to feel bad, cry, whatever you want, right? I like what Beyonce, for example, says. Like I allow every time I fail, I'm pretty sure it was like this, the way she said it. Every time I fail, I allow myself one day of sorrow and then back up again. More or less is the what she said. And I have it in front of like my bed, like every morning, I'm just really literally like looking at that every time I feel like down. And it's in the normal process. But it's the process that you should embrace and not run away with that. Because it's like something deep in your soul, whatever like the topic is, like where it's a failure in the work, failure in your life, failure with yourself, is something deep. Even work, because honestly, I mean, we just always try to say it's not personal, but it's always personal. But this is another topic. And so it's something you have to embrace and just let it be. Be strong, knowing that you will just move forward. Then there is an acknowledgement. Perfect. I just gathered the information. I gathered information and just think, what is wrong with that? What was wrong with that? What I've done? I took a decision. Okay, it went wrong. How can I avoid that next time? If you think about it, this is an extremely scientific approach. I mean, scientists, they do the fail test every day when they test something new. They make a decision, they try something, it's not working, acknowledgement, and write it down, and then move forward and then change the ingredients. I think. I'm a linguist, I don't know. So with us, like, when just something more personal and more emotional, you can just, move on so easily or like change the ingredients, but you can learn out of that. But you will not learn if you don't sit down, write down, or like, also like mentally and thinking about the all the variables or all the reactions that was like, your decision was like say sparkling, or like this is word, or like putting on fire. Once you're done, start to connect the dots. Start to connect the dots and say, do not think what have I done, or do not think maybe if I just made this. No, this is actually this mechanism that woman has, like thinking about the past, imagine, like fantasizing. No, so it's okay. If this coming next time, what can I do differently? Extremely scientific. I know it's not so like so touchy. This said, the next step is, as easy it sounds, is moving forward. So you just get lessons, you just learn what was wrong. You understand that, stop going back in the past. Because going back in the past mentally over and over again, it won't change that. It would just suck your time, suck your energy. Embrace everything that happened to you as a new transformation that makes you stronger, that makes you wiser. It's not a Britney Spears song. It's true. It makes you extremely more smarter. And there is another point, which is like start to watch what is around you, your surroundings. Why I'm telling that? Because we really think that other people, they really don't fail. They fail every day as well. Again, we're all human. So start to have a look, and you will really see, first of all, that if you fail, nobody would just stare at you and pointing you for this, for being, a failure or like have failed. And normally people just forget it like in really, really fast time range. And second, that you're not alone. You're surrounded by everybody that like makes mistakes, that fail every day, little, small, big, life-changing failures. Yesterday I was talking to my therapist, yes, because I do, and I was talking about this topic, and she suggested me this what I'm going to tell you. Actually, I think he was like talking to me, but I want to share that with you. She said that failure is a circle; it will never end. The only thing we should really stop in order to live our decision in the best way is to do that. But we will never able to avoid the failure. Why should we? We just celebrate every day the success of us, of the people around, because just they take us back, just give us the adrenaline, they give us the motivation. But the best thing I would like to share with you that we should also start to celebrate our failure, because this is the only way we can learn something. Especially we can learn something from us, about us, and not what surrounds us. So I think like I will just stop here in a few seconds, because I know that for us, and for me, and for you that are listening, it might be like extremely heavy, but there is something I would like, a sentence that I just heard yesterday as a casualty, and it was, the best advice I can give it to you is to make mistake and to fail, but please never regret them. And with this sentence, I would like to thank you for following me and to have listened to me. If you want to proceed the conversation, if you have any question, feel free to contact me, because I know that this is really, really personal and can change. And I'm fine if you say that, like, absolutely, we should not embrace the failure, like go away for that. It's like absolutely bullshit. Sorry for my French, but I would love to hear your voices and hear what you think about is failure for you. Thank you for listening.